All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Justin, and welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Tears, and a special hello and welcome to everyone on Rumble. I am now also over on Rumble and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, but this is the very first video going on Rumble, and today we're going to try out the Widow Jane Decadence 2024 release. Okay, so I am a Widow Jane fan, but I've never had any of the Decadence releases. This is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys finished in maple syrup barrels, coming in at 45.5%, so it's only 91 proof. A little bit scared about that. This is batch number 42, bottle number 29 from 2024. There is no other word to describe this. We took some of our legendary bourbons and finished them in barrels that held New York's finest artisanal maple syrup from grown maple. The result is a rich, creamy, smoothie, and slightly sweet mouthful of whiskey flavor that is way beyond good. It's decadent. Alright, so for everyone on Rumble, the way I do things here on this channel is we pop the top, we get the nosing straight out of the bottle, then we smell it out of the glass, then we taste it, and then I rank it on a tier system. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's pop the top, get the nosing straight out of the bottle. Alright, here we go. Fake cork on there, but that's alright. Also, the presentation, I like the labeling. Maybe a little bit too much label because there's just a ton of like empty white on the sides. But either way, I like the color scheme overall. So here we go, nosing out of the bottle. Yep, that is a super sugary syrup smell coming straight out of the bottle. So let's go ahead and pour this into the glass and get ready to try my first ever Widow Jane Decadence. All right, so it is rather light looking in the glass. Man, struggling to talk today here on Rumble. Rather light looking in the glass, coming in at that 91 proof point, which really is the main thing that concerns me about this one. I tend to be a proof guy, so we'll see. We'll see how this 91 is going to hold up with that maple syrup influence. But we're going to go ahead and get the nosing now out of the glass. Let's see what we got. It's definitely got that maple syrup on there, but there's something else going on too. It always smells like some kind of fruit pie with like the crust over the top that then got that granular sugar and then like the maple syrupiness mixed in. I don't know what kind of fruit pie exactly. I want to say like a plum or a... I don't know if they even make plum fruit pies, but maybe a plum, blackberry, something along those lines, some kind of dark fruit. Got a little bit of oakiness still in the background. And some hints of spice on the nose. So I don't know if there's any rye in this mash bill for the bourbon that were used, but it does have some hints of spice. So we'll see if that comes through on the palate or not. All right, before we get into trying this one today, do me one big favor. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you're on Rumble, make sure you hit like and follow. Trying to grow everywhere we go. Appreciate it very much. Happy Thanksgiving. By the way, everyone, this should be coming out on Thanksgiving. So I appreciate everyone who has been subscribed to the channel for YouTube for a while now. We are growing, getting closer to that 2,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So very thankful for all of that and thankful for hopefully the future on Rumble. So here we go. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, that is just dessert in a glass. Dessert in a glass. Super sweet, creamy, sugary niceness. It's obviously not very proofy, but with this maple finish on there, that's not going to take away from the flavor profile in this thing at all. So this is just a nice dessert in a glass. You could have this on Thanksgiving Day as your dessert if you're not doing pie and be completely happy with it. Now let's try and break down some of the flavor notes in there. So it's definitely got a creamy maple syrup, creamy vanilla in there, but it does have a couple spices. It's got some cinnamon, like some dry cinnamon, maybe some different baking spices on there too. I don't know if it was that rye that was smelling on the nose. Let me concentrate on that spice note again. Yeah, it's got a little bit of spice to it. It's got maybe a hint of that rye spice to it that you would get out of some kind of rye in the mash bill. I don't know if there is or not, but it's definitely giving me that influence on there. And it's even got a little bit of a like a hint of a bitter oak on the end. Just a hint of a bitter oak. I held it in my mouth longer that time, and I definitely got that when I held on to it, and I Got that little hint of bittery oak on the end, which I wasn't really expecting, considering it is finished in the maple cask and it is coming in at 91 proof. Wasn't really expecting that, but all right, let's drink this thing again, and then we'll move towards ranking it. Yeah, it's dessert in a glass. I don't get a lot of fruitiness on the palate that I was getting on the nose. Maybe if anything like an orange or an orange peel, but it's very light in the background on the palate. Very not quite there at all. Honestly, I would say, I'm leaning towards saying that I like the nose better than the actual liquid, but let's compare again. I mean, it's pretty good. This thing has been hyped up a lot. I know a lot of people really, really like this bottle. I was maybe expecting slightly more out of it. Maybe it's the proof point, because it does bring in some of those watered down kind of flavors a little bit on there, and maybe I was expecting more of like a thick maple syrup, but it's kind of like a light watery maple syrup. It is creamy, but it's like light creamy, if that makes sense. Like a whipped cream is more light than like a heavy cream that you would get in like a creme brulee or yogurt or something along those lines. It's like a light cream. So maybe coming up a little bit short in some areas for me. I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but let's go ahead and drink this thing one last time before we rank it on the tier system. Since you may be new here on Rumble or even on YouTube, my tier list is going to pop up right here. This is how I rate everything on the channel. It's subjective. I have been doing this for quite some time now. I think probably over 200 bottles I've done now on the channel. I don't even really know. I'd have to go back and look, but probably somewhere over 200. A lot of videos out there. So, and especially on Rumble, gonna have some more cigar stuff coming out here soon. Don't tell the fiance, but gonna have some more of that type stuff coming out here soon. So that's how I'm gonna rank it today. Let's go. Last sip, and we'll rate it. Cheers, everybody. Man, I'm debating back and forth in my head. I was definitely expecting a little bit more out of this. I really like Widow Jane. Everything I've had from Widow Jane, their regular 10 years, one of my favorite lower proofers that you can get out there. Really, it's quite good. I haven't had some of their more aged stuff because it's so expensive. It's crazy expensive. I don't know if you've seen the the Black Opal, the 20 year with a $450 MSRP, which seems like, I don't know if they're going to be able to sell through these, because I see the 15s sitting around all the time at the same stores. Like, nobody's picking them up just because they're so expensive. They could be amazing. I don't know, but it's just hard to buy something at that price point, especially with the proof that most of the things are that Widow Jane puts out. So I really enjoyed the the new release they put out there, the baby corn, or the whatever it's called. I can't remember right now, but it was the their own corn that they developed or came up with a farm. That was actually pretty good for the price, because that's like a $50 bottle. So this one was a bit more expensive. This one's up around 90 in that range. So all right, one last sip. I've rambled there, and we'll rank it on the tier system. All right, on the tier system today, I've decided it is a nice dessert whiskey. It would be good to have after like a hearty meal, or if you're having a Thanksgiving dessert afterwards. This would be a good one to have, but I think it is lacking in some areas. It doesn't really have any viscosity. The proof point isn't quite there for me. Some of the flavors are a little bit watered down. So for me, I think it's just going to go on the C tier. Just going to go on the C tier for me today. It's good. It's not bad. It's just maybe not quite what I was expecting from everything that I heard about the Widow Jane Decadence series. It's just coming up a little bit short for me in a few areas. So it's going on the C tier, but still happy to have it, happy to drink it, and happy to have it now in my collection. Hey, do me one big favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, or follow if you are on Rumble. If you haven't joined up with Rumble yet, go and find me over there. I'll try and remember to put a link down in the description below as well, and I'll see you for your next drink.